Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and do some more waterfowl patterning. And I've got another combination on here today that I'm definitely curious to see what happens, considering we've got a new choke to test. And the combination that I've got might work, it might really not work. I don't know, I'm definitely curious to see how it does. And I do apologize if the audio is still a little bit funny or a little bit different than usual. I'm playing with the new microphone, so we're still getting all those settings dialed in. But it's what we're working with for today, so let's get into the testing. So for the setup I've got out here today, I brought my Remington 1187 back out here again, but I got this choke. This is a Patternmaster Black Mamba 690 constriction choke, and this is kind of their supposed do-all choke. You can shoot lead through it, you can shoot steel, tungsten, bismuth, doesn't matter. It's meant to bridge the gap between waterfowl and turkeys where you can use one choke for both, so I'm definitely curious to try it with both and see how it does. And who knows, we might even try it with buckshot as well and see what happens. Now being 690, it's kind of right in the ballpark of a full choke. I think the stock full choke for this gun is 688 constriction from what I measured. So we're pretty much right in the full choke range. So we'll see what it does. It does have that coil zone technology stuff. You can see the spirals on it there where it is gas over constriction. So that might play very well with the combination we've got today, and it might not. I don't know. And as for the shell I've got, I brought out some of the Federal Black Cloud steel loads. These are a 12 gauge, 3 inch, 1 1/4 ounce of steel 2s moving about 1450 feet per second. And they do have the flight control wad. So I'm definitely curious to see how it reacts to this gas over constriction choke. It might work great. It might really look terrible, but we're going to find out one way or the other. But as for the test, everything's going to be the same as usual. I have the duck target set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll be able to see what kind of speed we're running and how close it is to the box velocity. So let's get you guys set up with the view of this target, and we'll head up and take the shot. We'll look at our chrono speed, and then we'll go down range and see how they actually performed. So let's go over here and shoot this combination and see what we get. Okay, so that shell gave us 1237 through the chrono. The box is claiming 1450, so we're a little over 200 feet per second under what the box is saying. And from what I can remember, that's probably about right. High 1200s, I think, is what we've been getting. So definitely moving a little bit slower than what they're claiming and a little bit slower than what I would like to see, to be honest with you. When it comes to waterfowl loads, I typically like to see at least 1350, if not 1400. So we're definitely a little bit slower than what I'd like to see. But how did they actually shoot down range? Let's go take a look and see. Alright, so now we're down range here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now, do we have a dead duck or not? I think we do, but he definitely would have been more on the wounded side, and the dog would have had to go chasing after him, I would have bet. But I do think he would have gotten that duck. But looking at the rest of the pattern here, it's kind of nothing really different from what we've already seen out of these black cloud shells. Quite a bit more open than what I would like to see. But really, the issue I have with them is they're very patchy and kind of uneven. I mean, you can see the overall shot here on the paper looks pretty centered up. However, a lot of the shot favored over here to the right, and right above this duck, I mean, there is a massive void right there with nothing in it whatsoever. And there are a number of other large gaps in here that something could potentially sneak through. And I mean, it's just not an amazing looking waterfowl pattern, I wouldn't say. Now, would it do the job? Yes, it would out to 40 yards, but there would most likely be an occasion where you would have to shoot a bird again or something like that. So on this one, I'm still not really impressed. I mean, if the entire pattern looked like this one little area over here on the right edge, we'd be a whole lot better off. But when you have a ginormous void, I mean, that's probably an 8 to 10 inch void right above that duck there with nothing in it. That's definitely not what you want to see out of a waterfowl pattern. So on this one, definitely not anything amazing, I wouldn't say. Now, is it due to the choke being that coil zone thing that they call it with the gas over constriction fighting against this flight control wad? Maybe, but I really don't think it's the case. I think it's just this load in general not being a super amazing or consistent load. So I definitely think we should test that choke with a bunch of different loads, because I think we can definitely get some better results than this. But either way, I guess, once again, a little bit disappointing for this shell, but at the same time, I'm not entirely surprised about it either, I guess I should say. Okay, and here's the wad out of that shell, and as you can see, it's definitely a flight control wad, and everything looks pretty much exactly normal. So I wouldn't say we played around too much with what the wad was supposed to do moving through that choke. There's nothing stuck down in there or anything. The little tail fins opened up perfectly even how they normally do. No rips or tears, nothing out of the ordinary. So I think it's just a case of the load itself not being a super amazing performer on this one. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance? It's kind of, yet again, a disappointment, but that's kind of been the story with these shells so far, it seems. Very inconsistent, not all that even, just not super amazing performing shells in general. And I definitely don't think this Patternmaster Black Mamba helped or hurt these shells any. I think this is about what we can expect to see out of them in general. But as for that Black Mamba choke, I definitely think it deserves a bunch more testing, because I definitely think we can see a whole lot better result than that through it. But as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know, is that about what you expected to see? Were you hoping for a little bit better? And if you've tried this Black Mamba choke with the Black Cloud loads or some other loads, what has been your results with them? And what are maybe some shells that you would like to see me try through it? Of course, leave all that down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. But with that being said, I've got a bunch more stuff coming y'all's way and some new stuff as well. So stay tuned for all that. As always, we do have the channel Instagram as well as a mailbox where you can send things to the channel if you'd like. So if you're interested in any of that information, it'll be in the description for you. But I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.